Turn this over at this time. I'm going to hand the microphone to Bob Smith. If you would give a big round of applause to Bob Smith from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. He's been here before. He worked with Bill along the way. And Bob's going to kind of explain how this will work, and we'll go from there. So, again, big round of applause for Bill Apter on his 80th birthday. As we go right here live from the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame to a live Apter Chat.
The Smith Chat.
Thank you, Seth Turner. How about a hand for Seth?
All right, Seth.
Golf clap.
Come on, how about a hand for Seth? You say cake, for God's sake, right? Anyway, I worked with Bill Apter for 8 years at Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and I did so well that after, I guess it was about the 4th year, they made me managing editor, right?
Yes, they did. We did. We made you managing editor, and this is the man, when people blame me about the PWI 500, he wrote most of that. Yeah. When wrestlers today, even though I've been gone from PWI since 1999, I get calls from wrestlers today, "Hey, Apter, why did you only rank me number 15? They do. They still call me. So you had some questions you wanted to run past me?
No, I am going to reveal things about you as you turn 80 that these people don't know. This is the longest lasting professional wrestler journalist in the history of anything. I'm sure you realize that.
Wow.
I'll tell you when he started, though. You know, he's been around for so long. He was literally at George Hackenschmidt's final title victory in 1898.
That's right.
And you know, it was a wonderful moment because Bill walks into the mud pit they were in after the match, and George Hackenschmidt sees him and goes, "Bill, what's it been? 20 years?" Somebody got it. Thank you. So anyway, we're here to, all these people want to say stuff to you, but since it's an Apter Chat, why don't you get things started in your inimitable fashion?
Thank you. Let's have a hand for Bob Smith. Yeah. And since this is an Apter Chat, my chat, first of all, is to thank you all for being here today. And I want to bring up someone who's been very important to my life. And he did this artwork. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the strongest man in the world, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Tony Atlas.
I didn't know who you were talking about at first. The story about Mark Henry.
No, we're going to take on
Jonathan.
So when
or Harley Race, the first guy to body slam
Andre the
Giant.
You know I can do a Harley Race imitation.
Dick Murdoch, who never worked out a day in his life, go to Japan and bench press 365 pounds.
Wow.
Or Dean Ho or Haystack Calhoun that could straighten out a horseshoe and bring it back.
I forgot what I asked
You
him.
said the world that cover a lot of wrestlers.
You mentioned Harley Race and his son, Justin. Justin, why don't you come up? Where is Justin Race?
He's right there.
Where is he? Oh, come on up. Let's have a big hand for Justin Race, the son of Harley Race, and his lovely mom right here in the front row. So first thing I want to talk about is you and I first met the first year that you started, 1974, and you were working for the Crockett's back at that time. So I remember how anxious you were. You'd come over to me and say, "How do I get my picture in that magazine?" You remember that?
That's right.
Yeah. And we used you a lot in the magazines because you had such a great, and you still do, a great look about you. You don't get people who pose like you all the time. Yeah, it's true. Oh yeah, it's true. Tell us about the Crockett days. Was that a pivotal time in your
career? See, back, as you well know, Bill, back in the day, they didn't have much television. Everything was syndicated. So you could wrestle in Charlotte, you could wrestle in South Carolina, North Carolina. People in Georgia didn't know who the hell you were because the TV didn't go that far. And then a guy by the name of Jim Barnett decided to buy a TBS and put wrestling on cable for the very first time. But prior to TBS, along with TBS, Bill Apter magazine is what gave us life. So when I first went to New York, everybody already knew who I were, even though I'd never been there, never been on their TV or anything, but it was from the magazine. When I went to Japan, Tony Atlas, from the magazine. So this is the guy here that gave a professional wrestling life. And a lot of people that we know today, Harley Race, myself, Jimmy Snooker, and the list go on and on and on, would have never ever been known if it wasn't for people like Bill Apter that travel up and down the highways with us on their own expense. You know, the promoter they had to pay for everything. And they took pictures up and they did story. The first story that Bill did on me, even when I was in bodybuilding, Bill came to Charlotte when I was winning all these bodybuilding competitions, did a nice write-up, a nice article on me, put it in the magazine. And a lot of people don't know, even though I am very patriotic, I kneel for God and I stand for the flag, so I really believe in my country and my God. But the Mr. USA that I was called for so many years was a bodybuilding title.
That's right.
And Ted Turner made it patriotic. He came to me and said, Tony Atlas, you're a fan American. You're a fan American. And she said, from now on, you Mr. USA, get the stars and stripes. So I started wearing the stars and stripes, even though it was a bodybuilding contest. And the magazine really.
Well, you know what? With the magazines, by the way, the man that owned the magazines, Stanley Weston, would not put people on the cover that he didn't think would sell the magazines. He was in the magazine business. We had him on the cover. He looked so very good. And I'm going to tell you something that ticks me off. Seth Turner and this Hall of Fame always recognizes the magazines. When people get up in the WWE Hall of Fame and they talk about everybody that's made their career, only Jerry Lawler and Mil Mascaris mentioned the wrestling magazines.
Right.
The rest of them thanked the janitor all the way up to the highest thing, but not them. And your dad, Harley Race, made sure that he was in touch with me all the time. When there was a title change, he'd call me, not to tell me there was going to be a title change, but he'd say, you might want to show up in St. Louis Friday night. Was that a good Harley Race imitation? Huh? Yeah. He'd get in, my Harley ring style was, yeah. There's a Japanese.
You know what that was for?
No.
Yeah.
What was that for?
It was to piss the fans in the first couple rows off.
Oh, yeah.
He was a heel.
Yeah, but why would that piss them off?
Because they got sick of listening to it. I mean, it was like that when you're driving down the road and there's that tick in your car and it's like, what the heck is that? You got to pull over and that's what he was like. Yeah, you get outside the ring.
Every time
He made the fans so sick of listening to that.
Every time I'd be shooting pictures with Jimmy Suzuki around the ring, Japanese photographer, Harley would look at the photographers and he'd go, yeah. And Suzuki would look back at him, yeah. Let me take your picture.
One night I was needing a ride and Harley said, come on kid, you ride with me. I said, oh, thank you Harley. I get into the car, he took off like a bat out of hell. By the time we hit the interstate, we were doing 120 miles per hour, and that was the slowest we went.
Oh, yeah.
100 miles per hour each way. Just drinking, and one cigarette after the other. Running down the highway 100 miles per hour. It scared me to death. You know that, right?
Those were the days, my friend, because... Ladies and gentlemen, Davey O'Hannon. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. One of the great enhanced